YouTube kept taking down my stream whenever I tried to do it on YouTube, and I have no idea why, honestly. Um, just because I wasn't even folding anything yet. I was just teaching people how to cut a square out of a letter-sized sheet of paper like this thing, you know? Right? So obviously um, I appealed it and said that it was taken down in error. But as of time of recording of this video, I have not received any new notice of whether or not I whether or not my what reason is justified. Okay, the thing about origami models is that uh, is that as far as I'm aware, which I've been aware for a while, it's perfectly legal to to fold something that another person has designed, right? That's what I've been doing for years, and otherwise I've been breaking the law, and that's why people publish their designs in books, right? And as far as I'm aware, it's perfectly legal for people to teach other people that design, so long as they give them credit and so long as there's no monetary things involved. And look, the thing about my channel is that it's so small it doesn't get any money actually. So basically what that means is all of this is coming from my own time and my own efforts, right? And I don't get any compensation for it except perhaps like satisfaction or some other non-monetary gain, right? But when I fold things on stream, it's not like I have any benefit from it, and it's not like other people benefit as well from it either, because they could copyright claim it, and in which case they would get all of the proceeds, and I would get nothing, but I don't even get anything from the video. So it's like, but the thing about YouTube is that it was taking down my stream during the time I was trying to stream how to fold an owl by Stephen Weiss, and basically I was really concerned about that because I didn't even get to the part where we were actually supposed to be where I was actually supposed to be folding the model, right? Instead, what happened was basically, oh, they were just targeting me because they found I had like some sort of, they found I was doing origami, even though I was folding in the third stream. I did another stream to test whether or not they were actually targeting me, and I was folding this lily flower right here. And if you've done origami for a while like I have, you'll know that this thing is a traditional design. It doesn't have any designer or creator attached to it, because it was created such a long time ago that we don't even know who designed it, and it would be impossible. So you can just include instructions like this anywhere in a book, and you don't have to pay because it's traditional, or in other words, we'd have no one to credit for it, right? And yeah, I get not why copyright laws exist, right? If I designed something and someone else published it under my name, I would be pretty mad too. But the thing is, I wasn't making any money from doing these origami streams, and B, I was I always know to give credit where credit is due, right? So, and the thing is, I always publish videos that I make on my own. I don't publish other people's videos, and I always make sure to give credit where credit is due, as well as only use copyright free music if I ever use music in my videos, which, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I do. Anyway, with that out of the way, what I want to do is maybe just instead try and fold the thing not on a stream but just as a video. I am aware that my videos are restricted in length, alright? So what I'm about to do is just like So what I'm about to do is I'm going to do what I could not do earlier, and I'm going to try and fold an owl as a result of one of my friends asking me to do it. All right, and yeah, as I mentioned before, I gotta give credit where credit is due, despite the fact that I am not that I'm not making any despite the fact that I'm not making any money from it, I still have to give credit where credit is due. All right, this is an owl by Stephen Weiss, and Mr. Weiss, if you are watching this video for some reason and you want this taken down, then by all means, I will take it down for you, okay? This design was found in Origami Zoo by Stephen Weiss and Robert J. Lang, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking this a square and creasing the diagonals, right? Now, luckily for me, videos like these are pausable. You can pause and then go back and review things if you can't follow along, but hopefully you can see the creases on this paper well, right? So what we're going to do now is take all of the four corners and fold them into the center, all right, like this. So this is the first corner, and then what you're going to do is fold the rest of the corners in. This, once you've done this, it's called a blintz base, and I believe it's called that because of because it's similar to because it's a similar folding pattern to a Dutch pancake. I think called a blintz. And anyway, regardless, what you're going to do now is take the top corner here and fold each of the edges up to the top edge like this, all right? So it should look something like this, and then you'll unfold it and do it again on the other side. Right, and then you'll unfold it, okay? Now what you're going to do is take these sides and bring it in to the center, like this. So in response, like in preparation for these things, I did practice folding upside down so that my camera can catch all of the relevant details, all right? And so that it looks kind of normal to you, right? So this is what it should look like after you've done everything. The edges are folded here, and this top one has like the two folds on it right there, okay? So now what we're going to do with this is we're going to first take these corners here, the two side ones, and take this. So what you're going to do is take this edge right here and fold it onto this line. Fold it so that it meets that line as such. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side, so that it looks like this, okay? And now what you're going to do is take this corner right here and fold it up so that the fold goes through this point right here and this point right here. So the folds from earlier, like this and like this, should have a point of intersection. That's where you're going to make the next fold through, right? So it should look something a bit like this, right? Now, once you've got it like that, what you're going to do is you're going to do a bit of a more complicated procedure. Now, what you're going to do is take this area right here and sort of smush it in, and then you'll notice that if you do it well, this this thing right here is going to come back, and you don't really want that, so you're going to hold it right here and use your thumb to push out so that you get something like this when you flatten it. And here's a close-up of it. So it should be something like this. right? Again, it used to be like this. You're going to push in and then use another finger to stabilize, and then it should look like this, right? Now you'll do the same thing on the other side. So once you've got it like this, what you're going to do is you're going to fold these flaps back, the two side flaps back, along the folds you made earlier. So it should look something like this when you turn it over, right? And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so your model should look like this right now if you've done everything well up to this point. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to take these top flaps here and fold them down like so. There's no real guidelines onto how far you should fold them down. Just try to make them equal and they will become your eyes, all right? And this thing right here is going to become the beak. It's going to come over the eyes like this. So if you want to use that as a guideline for making the eyes, right? Anyway, with regards to the beak, we're going to pleat it. So fold down the top corner like that, and then fold it back up so that you get something like this. And it doesn't have to be even, like it really doesn't matter. So then what you're going to do is a bit of a complicated procedure, but anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to make a fold that goes from this point right here, which is kind of around the middle of it, right? And then the fold should go down to this point right here, so that it looks something like this. All right, and it won't lie flat at this point, but that's okay, because what we're really after here is you're going to make another fold that goes from that same point right here to this point here on the wing. So it should look something like this, right? Then you're going to fold it back down, and then now it should flatten. And if you've done everything right, it should look like this. And I'm going to repeat it on the other side. So again, from this point right here down to here, right? And then from this point to this point right here. All right, so this is what it should look like, all right? And what we're going to do now is we're going to just and what we're going to do first is we're going to fold this down, right? And then check to see that check to see that the beak and the eyes are where you want it. You can kind of see it coming together like an owl, sort of. And we're going to save that for a little bit. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take this flap right here. Yeah, we'll just get a better view for you guys. So you're going to take this flap right here, which is under the eye, and from this crease right here, you're going to fold the edge up to the eye. And then from where it ends, like right here, you're going to fold the edge downward so that it comes to that point on the wing, and then flatten it so that it looks like this, right? You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So that you get something like this. And now I'm going to adjust my bird's head a little bit so that it looks something like this, all right? And now what you're going to do is you are going to fold from this bottom corner, or no, this bottom midpoint right here, up to this point right here at the top, right? Actually, not this point, it should go to this point, like in the middle, right? It's a bit hard to explain, but anyway, what happens is we're going to fold from there, something like this, over to this side. As a preliminary fold, right? And then you'll unfold, and then lift up the flap here, and along those creases, fold again, so that you get something that looks kind of like this. Right, so it should look like this, and I know I probably heavily botched explaining that, so it should look something like this, right? And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to fold the flap out from this point right here underneath that new flap you've created down to the bottom again. So that it will look something like this, right? And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now it's now it is a complicated process. I do remember that, so I'm just going to fold like this, right? And then unfold, and then fold again. So that it looks something like this, all right? And then you're going to fold out. And you should get something like this, right? So that is the tail and the legs done, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the thing over, and this is the tail, all right? What we're going to do is just do a little bit of detail work along the wings, right? And you're going to fold along this edge right here. Going to fold along this edge, and it won't lie flat. This thing is going to come up, but just flatten that down. All right, and then you can tuck it in. You can tuck this little thing in here if you want, so that it looks something like this, right? And then you're going to do the same thing over on this end. All right, now you're going to flip it over again, and what we're going to do is take these things, these little portions that are jutting out, you're going to just fold them over the edge, and then lift up that flap, and then tuck it back in so that it looks kind of like this. Again, fold behind, lift up, and then press down like such. And we're almost done. The last thing you have to do is round out the eyes a little bit. So you're going to take the eye and just fold the corners back a little bit like this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold the ears back however you'd like to make owl ears. And there you have it. That is an owl. And if you crease it lightly like this, then the thing will perch on your hand, on your finger, or on something like this pen. Hopefully it'll stay. Stay, come on, stay. Yeah, it should stay like that on the on a pen, right? So there's the owl. Hope you enjoyed.